And now some fresh pickings from the political grapevine. Another case of what appears to be Sarah Palin derangement syndrome has reared its head. Juan Cole at the liberalsalon.com website has compared the former Alaska governor to Iranian President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad. Cole writes, quote, "It is remarkable how similar they are. Both are known for saying things that produce a classic Scooby-Doo double take in their audiences." Cole says the two are right-winged populists who, quote, "claim to represent the little people against the wily and unscrupulous elites and against pampered upper-middle-class yuppies pretending to be the voice of democracy." Meantime, Saturday, an Alaskan blog claimed Palin was getting a divorce and moving to Montana. But her spokeswoman wrote on Facebook, quote, "Yet again, some so-called journalists have decided to make up a story. The Palins remain married, committed to each other and their family, and have not purchased land in Montana." One pro-Palin blog says, quote, "Even off stage, liberals still attack." Adds another, quote, "The left just can't seem to get over Sarah Palin derangement syndrome. They can't even seem to leave her and her family alone now that she is a private citizen." White House Chief of Staff Rahm Emanuel reportedly made phone calls to the heads of some television networks to pressure them to air the president's July 22nd primetime news conference. The Washington Post's Howard Kurtz writes Emanuel made calls to top ABC, NBC, and CBS executives in an effort to persuade them into giving up a chunk of their schedule. A CBS official says they feel pressured and that, quote, "the news divisions also have mixed feelings about whether they are being used." The head of the network says about taking a news conference instead of regular programming, quote, "We lose more than $3 million a show." An NBC executive says he would feel better if White House officials, quote, "were approaching us with the sense that they had something new to say." And Kurtz writes, had it not been for the last answer about the Cambridge police arrest of Professor Henry Gates, there would have been no news in that news conference. The Fox broadcast network declined to carry the last two primetime news conferences. President Obama has held 4 of them in the first 6 months of his presidency. President George W. Bush had the same number during 8 years in office. And Venezuelan President Hugo Chavez is continuing his socialist agenda by shutting 34 radio stations down across the country. Government officials say the stations failed to comply with regulations, but critics insist this is a crackdown on free speech. The head of Venezuela's Council of Journalists has denounced the move, and one opposition party member says, quote, "This government has turned into a mutilator of rights." But Chavez says, quote, "We haven't closed any radio stations. We've applied the law," adding that the stations, quote, "now belong to the people and not the bourgeoisie."